Philadelphia Eagles fans, we got our wish. We got receivers. Wow. Forget Torrey Smith. If we only got Alshon Jeffrey, I even would have been happy. No, don't forget Torrey Smith, because that's actually a pretty good pickup. People are making it sound like it's a really bad pickup, but I don't think it is. That dude can run, and he can flat out run routes, and he could run. He's like, people are calling him like a deep threat with speed, which that's a good piece to have. And then obviously we get the blockbuster. We get Alshon Jeffrey, $14 million for 1 year. So most likely low risk, high reward. So yeah, that could not have gone any better for the first day. And then we got a pretty good offensive lineman in Chance Warmack. So yeah, as for a first day, that couldn't have gone any better. So yeah. So I'm just gonna talk about this for a second, a little bit. The Alshon deal is a very good deal because you're not committed to him after next year or after this upcoming year. So yeah. And then obviously if it works out, which I guarantee you it will, but God forbid it doesn't, you're not committed to him after this upcoming season. So and then Torrey Smith's contract, they were saying 3 years for $15 million, but I think which would be $5 million a year, but I think it's and then someone else was saying it was 1 year with options after this upcoming season. But two great receiver pickups. And now someone on Twitter was saying that we're still trying to add a running back from free agency, but yeah. Yeah, these are just really good pickups, people. Obviously, Jeffrey goes without saying. That's a very good pickup. That's like a top 10 receiver pickup. But people are really underestimating how helpful Torrey Smith can be this season. Just with his speed and his deep ball ability. That could be a really good pickup. And then also Chance Warmack adds more depth at the O-line position. So, God forbid something happens last year, or like what happened last year with Lane Johnson. Ugh. If something stupid like that happens again, or like injuries or something, then that adds more depth. So, and I think right now, Eagles fans are saying like they don't think he's going to start, but in the end, he might. Like, he might just take over that spot at left guard, or they even like might move him over to tackle or something. I think he's going to start this year. Brandon Brooks is still going to be a right guard, but I think he's going to. I think they're going to throw him into one of those spots where we had a rookie last year. So, and the Titans had a deadly O-line last year. That's why DeMarco had such a good year, because their O-line was killing it last year. So that's a really good pickup. So those were the three pickups today. We got obviously the big one in Alshon Jeffrey. That kind of, people were saying on Twitter too, like how that really hasn't sunk in yet. It really hasn't. Like, it's going to take me a few days to get used to the fact that Alshon Jeffrey is a Philadelphia Eagle. Like, it feels kind of weird, but because if you think about it, we really haven't had like a top of the league wide receiver for God knows how long. So it feels good to finally have one for once, but it's just going to take some getting used to. It's like, wait, this receiving core is actually decent now. So yeah, great job by Howie Roseman. So yeah. As for Brandon Cooks, thank God we didn't go for that one, because New Orleans wanted way too much. Let's say we tried to get him, we probably would have had to give him our 14th pick and something else. So that just wouldn't have been worth it. Because I'm not sure they didn't accept Tennessee's pick. So, or was that no, it was New England. That's the 32nd pick, because obviously won the Super Bowl. They didn't accept that one. And then there was a rumor going around that New England might trade Malcolm Butler for him and their pick. And then that went in water when they lost Logan Ryan. But But then they're bringing in Stephon Gilmore, so everyone was saying, like, wait, maybe they actually will trade Malcolm Butler. But then Logan Ryan went to the Titans, so man, these whole few teams have been like in the mix for all these things, like the Titans and the Saints and the Eagles and the Patriots and all, like this just group of like 5 to 7 teams. Just like in the but no, I'm just really happy about Jeffrey. That is just an unbelievable pickup by our front office. So, and we thought our first receiver that we were going to get was going to be Kenny Britt, because there was an article out the day before free agency on the 8th, like the night of the 8th, that like Eagles to sign Kenny Britt. And then Kenny Stills was in the mix. He re-signed with Miami. Kenny Britt was in the mix. He went to Cleveland. And as I said, actually, there was a report the other night that Kenny Britt is coming to Philadelphia, and then that went down in water. He's going to Cleveland, but who cares? We got Torrey Smith, and we got who was someone that I knew that we were going to target, because we were targeting him in the middle of last year before the trade deadline. We were trying to get him. Like, I remember the last hour before the trade deadline, I was watching NFL Insiders, just watching that countdown go down and be like, okay, can we trade for Torrey Smith now? Can we trade for Torrey Smith? Can we just do this already? And then it never happened. I don't know why I wanted it so badly. Maybe because of how shitty our wide receivers were playing at the beginning of this season. I just wanted to see how he would work out. And then, obviously, another situation where we wouldn't be committed to him, but, like, for the long run. But, yeah, that never happened, but now we have him. And, like, after the season, they were saying, like, Eagles still have interest in Torrey Smith, and now we got him. And then we get probably the best free agent wide receiver on the market this year, in ALSHON Jeffrey. So, and this is only the first day of free agency, everybody. And do I think we're done yet? No, but maybe, but probably not. Because of all these other reports that are still saying that we want to bring in a running back, and then whatever friggin' else we get, if we get a cornerback, if we get another O lineman, there's just a couple more days still remaining. So, but no, I am really, really satisfied with this first day. Good stuff. So we're finally getting our weapons around Carson Wentz. We already got 2 in the first day of free agency, and 2 very, very quality receivers, especially Jeffrey. So, yeah, very, very satisfied with this first day. And, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But other than that, I think that's all I really wanted to discuss was, oh, man, we're already starting to get some of the teammate chemistry. Was like Carson Wentz on Twitter was, like, chatting up with them and everything, and you know, just like welcoming them all to Philadelphia, and just like already trying to get that chemistry going and that friendship and everything, which is, you can't ask for anything more. And I'm telling you, there's probably not a happier person in the organization or in the franchise right now than Carson Wentz. I'm telling you, that dude just needs weapons around him, and we will be a playoff team next year. I hope. I really hope this Jeffrey this Jeffrey signing brings us up to that. Like, finally having a top 10 wide receiver on this team that can catch the football, and then bringing in another one in Torrey Smith. And then, obviously, and another thing about the receiving core is I think Dorial Green-Beckham has a bounce-back season next year. Because if we think about it for a second here, he was learning the system while the season was going on and he was playing. Like, okay, you're playing through the season and you're playing in these football games, and like, I was questioning, like, in the first half of the season, why aren't they using him more? But then as the season went on, I was like, oh wait, he's still learning fucking how to play with Carson Wentz. Like, it was a mess, but I think he has a bounce back year next year because he's gonna completely know the system. So, and then obviously we have Jordan Matthews, who I see having a pretty good season next year. He was injured for a little bit this past year, so that was the only reason he didn't put up the numbers that we thought he was going to, was because he missed a few games. But obviously we'll still have him in there in the depth, and then we'll have Aguilar too, which fuck him. Um, well, I don't know. I keep trying to give Aguilar another chance, but it's just like, wait, we've given him more chances and he just can't catch the football. It's really annoying, but yeah, that's your first day of free agency. We got Jeffrey and Torrey Smith. Couldn't be happier for this first day to get those two receivers, and I'll probably do another one of these every day after free agency. So yeah, this was the one for the first day, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow.